Welcome, Algebra 1 students, to the homework help video. Page 6, 19 through 30, 31, and 35 through 41 odd. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. Here we go. For numbers 19 through 30, the directions say to evaluate the expression for the given value of the variable. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's my algebra expression right here, 12x. Here's my value, x equals 5. Now remember, listen students, I know what I'm talking about. Get into the habit now of always putting parentheses when you make a substitution of a for a variable. Anytime that you put a value in for a variable, put a parentheses, okay? Now, when the 12 and the x are side by side, that means they're multiplying, okay? So we have 12 times x, or 12 times, well, x equals 5. Put the 5 right here, and 12 times 5 is 60. And there's your answer, all right? Number 20. Your algebra expression is b minus 7. So where the b is, I will put a parentheses. And now I have 24 minus 7, which is 17. Okay? So we're simply substituting and then evaluating. Okay? Substituting and then evaluating. Number 21. My algebra expression is 0.5t. Okay? Now the 0.5 is right next to the d. That means they're multiplying, so it's really a dot right here, 0.5 times d. So I'm going to put 0.5 and then a parentheses. And for d, I'm going to substitute 0.5. So I have 0.5 times 0.5. Now do you remember how to do that? 0.5 times 0.5 would be 5 times 5 is 25. How many decimal places did you have here? 1. How many decimal places did you have here? 1. Add those together. 1 plus 1 is 2. So you go over 2 places. Okay? So 1 decimal place here. 1 decimal place here. 1 plus 1 is 2. So because 1 plus 1 is 2, we go over 2 decimal places. And even though you can't see the decimal, it's always here at the end. Okay? Whenever you cannot see the decimal, it's at the end. And now move that 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So 0.5 times 0.5 is 0.25, or 0.25, or you would say 25 hundredths. Okay, number 22. 9 plus p. Of course, where the p is, I'm going to put a parentheses. And then p equals 11. So, since p equals 11, I put 11 right here for p. 9 plus 11 is 20. Moving on to number 23. R, 10. So I have r parentheses 10. Now, the r and the 10 are side by side, so we're multiplying, okay? So where the r is, I'm going to put a parentheses, and then I'm going to bring down my 10. R equals 8.2, so 8.2. Now whenever 2 parentheses are side by side, it does mean to multiply, so 8.2 times 10 is 82. If you struggle with that, here we go. 8.2 times 10, 0, 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 8 times 1 is 8. How many decimal places here? 1. How many here? 0. Add those together, you get 1. So you go over 1 decimal place. So from here to here, and there's your decimal. So if you want to put 82.0, that's fine. Okay, I have no problem with that. But 82.0 is the exact same thing as 82. Alright, number 24. 3.67a, excuse me, 3.67a is your expression. Where the a is, I'm going to put a parentheses and substitute 2. So now I'm going to multiply 3.67 times 2, and you'll get 6.34, alright? If you want to see that over here, it's like this. 14, carry your 1. 12 plus 1 is 13, carry your 1. Well, it'd be a 7. I did that in my head, guys. Sorry about that. I guess I should not try to do that stuff in my head. There we go. Sorry about that. How many decimal places here? 2. How many here? 0. Add those together, you get 2. So we go over 2 decimal places. 7.34. Alright. Number 25. Alright, here we go. So we have 6.3 over x. That's your expression, your algebra expression. Where the x is, I'm going to put a parentheses. And I'm going to substitute 3. So now I have 6.3 over 3, which is the same thing as division. So 6.3 divided by 3, and that would give you 2.1. Okay, 6.3 divided by 3. Bring your decimal straight up. 3 goes into 6 2 times. Bring down your 3. 3 goes into 3 once. 1 times 3 is 3. There we go. 2.1. Alright. Moving on to number 26. 2/3 times x is your variable expression or your algebraic expression. So I have 2/3 times, put a parentheses, 1/3. Alright. Well, remember, whenever you're multiplying fractions, you multiply top times top, so 2 times 1 is 2. And you multiply bottom times bottom, 3 times 3 is 9. Your answer is 2 9s. Okay. Alright, moving on to number 27. Okay, our expression is d over 12. Alright. Where the d is, I'm going to put a parentheses. And in place of d, I'm going to substitute 60. So I have 60 over 12, or in other words, 60 divided by 12, which of course is 5. So there's your answer, 5. Moving on to number 28. We have 18 over t, that's your algebraic expression. Where the t is, I will put parentheses. And I will substitute 3 in for t right here. So 18 over 3 is the same thing as 18 divided by 3, which would give you 6. Number 29. 5/8 minus p is your algebraic expression. So I'm going to have 5/8 minus, and then a parentheses, and for p I'm going to substitute 3/16. Now hopefully you remember this from middle school and elementary school students. Whenever you're adding or subtracting fractions, you must have a common denominator. In other words, your bottom numbers have to be the same, and they're not. One's an 8 and one's a 16. However, if I multiply this fraction, the top and the bottom, by 2, that'll make that a 16, okay? So my common denominator for 8 and 16 is 16. Bring down your minus sign. Okay, 8 goes into 16 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Or in other words, I just multiply the top and the bottom by 2. 5/8 is the same thing as 10/16. Now bring down your 3. So 5/8 is the same thing as 10/16. 10/16 minus 3/16 is 7/16. And there we go, that's your answer. Okay, number 30. Okay, we're going to add two fractions, so your algebra expression is 1/2 plus t. And where the t is, I'm going to put a parentheses. just a whole, so 1. Okay, a half plus a half is 1. Alright, okay, moving on to number 31. You invest $80 at a simple interest rate of 2%. How much interest would you earn in 1.5 years? Now, I'm not going to worry about this part here, students, using unit analysis. I will try to quickly explain that in the end here, but it's not necessary. Okay, here's the simple interest formula. I equals principal times rate times time. Your time has to always be in years, never weeks, never months, has to be in years, okay, for this formula. So, they're asking you to find how much interest would you earn. That's my I, so I'm looking for I. Principal is how much you invest. You invest $80. So there's a P. I put a parentheses and I put an 80. Next is my rate. That's my rate of interest. My rate of interest is 2%. So here's an R. I put a parentheses and I don't put 2. Remember guys, I put .02. Alright? Whenever you're dealing with math problems like this, you do not want to put the percentage into the problem. You want to change the percentage to a decimal. Do you remember how to do that? You knock off the percent sign and you always move the decimal 2 places to the left. So .02. Okay? If I had 88%, move the decimal 2 places, that would be .88. If I had 112%, knock off the percent, move the decimal 2 places, I would get 1.12. Alright? If I had 7%, knock off the percent, move the decimal 2 places, .07. Okay? So we're learning here quickly how to write percentages as decimals. So 2% would be .02. Now T is time in years. How many years are you going to leave it in for? 1.5. So parentheses 1.5. Alright? And now let's multiply all this together, okay? So here we go. 80 times .02 would give you, would it be 1.6? Let's see. 0, 16, 0, 0, 160, 12, 1.6. Alright? So 80 times .02 is 1.6 times 1.5. Okay? So 1.6, 1.5, 30, carry your 3, that's an 8. 6 times 1 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1. Combine those. And then, how many decimal places do I have here? 1. How many here? 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, so I go over 2 places. So there you go. You made a whopping, and yes, I'm being sarcastic, you made a whopping $2.40 interest, okay? So you started off with $80, and now you have $82.40, okay? So the interest you earned, the extra money you earned in 1.5 years was $2.40, okay? Alright, moving on. A train travels 75 miles in 55 minutes. The directions say to find the average speed. Okay, find the average speed. Now, the formula we use for this is rate times time equals distance. Okay, rate is your speed, how fast you're going. T is your time, how long you traveled at that speed, and distance is the distance you traveled. Okay, so we're looking for the speed. If you look at the directions for number 35, the directions say to find your average speed. So we're looking for R. Okay, now time is 55 minutes. Okay, distance is 75 miles. Alright, now can I show you something real quick? We'll learn Also, you can just simply say to yourself, how many times does 8 go into 24? And 8 goes into 24 how many times? 3 times. That's another way to do it. So come over here. Instead of saying what times 55 gives me 75, I'm just going to see how many times that 55 goes into 75. Alright? So how many times does 55 go into 75? So students, here we go. 55 goes into 75. One time. 1 times 55 is 55. Subtract, we get 20. Remember, if it doesn't come out even, you can add a decimal and put zeros. I'm not sure how many we'll need. Bring down a 0. 55 goes into 203 times. That's 3 times 55 is 165. Subtract to get 35. Bring down a 0. 55 would go into 350. Let's see. I believe 6 times. That's 330. Subtract. You get a 20. And now look, it starts repeating. When you subtracted these two numbers, you got 20. When you subtracted these two numbers, you got 20. So now it's just going to repeat itself over and over. So, bring down a 0. It would go in 3 times. So it's going to be 1.36363636 over and over and over. So you can round wherever you want to. I'm going to put 1.36. Now listen, it's speed. How fast was the train traveling, okay? It's miles per, and you're used to putting miles per hour, but it's not hours. It's miles per minute, because you were dealing with miles and you were dealing with minutes, okay? Miles per minute. Now, in the last problem it said, use unit analysis to check the units in your response, okay? You do not have to do that, but here's what they want you to do. They want you to say that you have 55 minutes over 1 and 75. Remember, it's 75 divided by 55. Everything I'm about ready to say, you do not have to understand. But I'm going to try to show you here. It's 75 divided by what? 55. So we have 75 miles divided by 55 minutes, okay? Put this over 1, put this over 1. Change the division to multiplication and flip your second fraction. Again, you do not have to understand this. I'm just trying to show you what they talk about with unit analysis. Times, flip this, 1 over 55. And look at this, look what you have. You have miles over minutes, or in other words, miles per minute. And that's all they wanted you to do, was check your units by this. I see no need for that, and that's why we don't do that. Okay, 37. Okay, we're going to find the speed. So rate times time equals distance. My rate is what I'm looking for. My time is 30 minutes. And my distance is 4 kilometers. Now once again, something times 30 equals 4. That's not very easy to do, so just take 4 and divide it by 30. Take 4, look like this, guys. If you had R times 2 equals 6, you would know R equals what? 3, because 3 times 2 equals 6. Or in other words, you took this number here, 6, and divided it by this number here. So 40 divided by, or 4 divided by 30. Okay, let's add some zeros here. 30 times 1 is 30. Subtract, we get a 10, bring down a 0. 30 gives it 100 3 times, that would be 90. Subtract, we get a 10, bring down a 0, and now it's going to continue. 0.1333333. So I'm simply going to put 0.1 kilometers per hour. 0.13 kilometers per hour. That's the rate. Alright. Okay, number 39. You are driving at a speed of 96 kilometers per hour. How long will it take you to travel 288 kilometers? So once again, rate times time equals distance. This time you're looking for time. How long will it take you to travel? So your rate is your speed. And that's 96 kilometers per hour. Your time is what you're looking for. So t, and your distance is 288. Now, think about this for a second. We're trying to find a number that 96 times some number gives you 288. Well, you could try to figure that out, but instead, remember what I taught you, take this number here and divide it by this number here. So we have 288 divided by 96, which does give you 3, by the way. Alright, comes out exactly right. 3 times 96 is 288. So your answer is 3. Now 3 what? It's time. Is it minutes, seconds, hours? Well, look at your speed. It's 96 what? Kilometers per hour. So the time's going to take 3 hours. That's your time. Okay? Alright, one more problem. An inline skater who is the same weight as the student in exercise 40 burns this many calories in this many minutes. How many calories does the inline skater burn per minute? Now, if you'll look in your book, look above number 40. Above number 40 in the black print, you'll see that it says the number of calories burned can be expressed by R times M. Okay? So, calories burned equals the rate that you burn the calories times M is the number of minutes. Okay, if you'll look at the black, bold print above number 40, it says the number of calories burned is expressed by RM. So number of calories burned equals RM. Okay? And then it says R is the rate that you burn the calories. Okay? And M is the number of minutes that you do it. Alright, so let's see what they give us. It says you burn this many calories in 90 minutes. So calories burned, 387. The rate, that's what we're looking for. How many calories does the inline skater burn per minute? That's a rate. Like miles per hour. Okay? Burn per minute, that's your rate. So that's what we're looking for. How many calories does the inline skater burn per minute? So that is your rate. M, of course, is the number of minutes. In this case, we have 90. So something times 90 equals 387. Now, we don't know what that is, do we? No, we don't. So we're going to have to take 387 and divide it by 90. Alright? Let me turn that alarm off real quick. Okay, there we go. Now, so 387 divided by 90. So here we go. We're going to have to put in a decimal and some zeros probably. And let's see what we have here. 90 times 3, 90 times 4 actually is 360. And you're left with 270. Well, 90 times 3 is 270 exactly, so we're good, we're finished. So there's your answer. Your rate is 4.3. Now what is it? You're burning calories in so many minutes. So 4.3 calories per guys, that's it for today. I hope this homework help video has been a help to you. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to call or email.